Welcome to the PokePod. It's me, Brennon, your lovable host. Along with me is my friend Dan. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
All right. Well, what do we have here? We have episode 6. Are you ready for battle? It's an important question, Dan.
I'm really ready for battle.
All right. Yep, I think I am too, but how about our audience? We're going to give you some tips and tactics on how to prepare for going into your Pokemon battles. But first, let's start off with the stories of the week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my story. It's a fairly interesting story.
Tell me.
Normally, when we go out walking, we go around the neighborhood, and if we take, it's like a 2 kilometer trek. If we take the full route, there are 3 Pokestops, and that's it.
Ouch.
Yeah, and there's one gym, so we can hit all that, but you only get that much on one 2K walk, and there's only one reliable spawn point for anything that's close by. So that's kind of irritating, but I've caught so many rares there, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
But yeah, it's like a water spawn point. Um, I've seen all kinds it always has a Magikarp and a Slowpoke, but I've caught a Slowbro and a Kabuto, and let's see what else. Trying to
very
think.
nice.
Also a Tentacruel. So yeah, that was
All
cool.
right.
But yesterday we did something different. We actually went to there is a do you know frisbee golf or disc golf?
Yes.
Yeah, there is a disc golf course about 2 miles away, and I took the family there. And it starts off. There's a gym like right at the beginning, and there's a
Oh,
gym. There's a gym at the end, but all 18 holes are stops.
wow.
Yeah, so it's about I don't know this in kilometers, but it's about just over one, like 1.2 miles if you take this concrete path around the course,
Yeah.
and you can hit 18 stops and 2 gyms. So that's
People must be playing more Pokemon Go than disc golf there.
yeah. I although I saw 4 other people playing Pokemon, and only one other couple was playing disc golf. But yeah, that's a great find. And I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't gone to the Starbucks over there.
Yeah.
And my son was, flipping through the map, and he was like, "Dad, look at all these stops." And I looked at it, and I couldn't figure out what it is, so I clicked on the stops, and it said hole 2, you know, X number of feet, water hazard.
Sweet.
I was like, "Oh snap, this is where we're coming."
Disc golf will be your new hobby.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sweet.
there you go. What stories do you have?
Well, as you know, I do another podcast about the murder of Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme,
Yeah.
which is getting fairly popular. So this week I was going to interview a celebrity, actually, a bona fide Swedish celebrity.
Right.
And I was supposed to meet him at his apartment. There were producers and stuff there at 10 a.m.
Sure.
So I figured that was in the other end of the central part of Stockholm. So I figured, I can walk there and hit a lot of Pokestops. And I know there were 2 gyms very close to where he lives. So I go there and I'm about to hit these gyms when I walk past his building. Like, there are 15 minutes left to our meeting.
Yeah.
And the guy is sitting outside, like, enjoying the sun.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I have to hit the gym before I go in. This will just be 15 wasted minutes. So I have to, like, walk past him and hope he doesn't notice me because he has only seen me once before.
Right.
So I look at my phone really intensely. I walk past him, hit the gyms, come back, and he's not outside the building anymore, and he doesn't comment on it. So I hope he didn't notice me.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this idiot just walked right past me. Oh, that's
So
funny.
that's my story.
All right. Well,
How to hit
let's
those gyms.
gotta. Oh man, you gotta. Especially if there's something weak in there.
Yeah, it was just two small Valor Pokemons.
Right. Well, Pokemon news. I have but one story, and I think most people should know it by now. But it was released that they are adding Pokemon buddies to the games, where you can have one of your Pokemon out walking with you. So, when you're walking with your Pokemon will give you candy so you can basically evolve your Pokemon. So you can choose whoever you want to walk alongside you while you're trying to hatch those eggs.
This sounds like it would unbalance the game even more, but you can now. What is keeping the rare Pokemons like Snorlax and Lapras, etc., back is that this is so hard to find candy for them.
Right.
But if you can now walk them for candy, you will see a lot of Snorlaxes and Laprases and stuff like that in gyms.
Ridiculously high.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a 383 CP Gyarados in a gym the other day.
How much?
303.
That's a small Gyarados.
That is a small Gyarados. 303? Yeah, well, maybe that wasn't exactly it, but
Yeah.
that was close enough. It was below 400.
Yeah, I did leave my CP28 Scyther in the gym.
Nice.
I have a story.
Okay.
A Russian blogger, a Russian vlogger with a YouTube channel, felt that he needed to defy the new Russian. There's a countrywide ban on Pokemon Go in religious buildings in Russia. So he went into a church, played Pokemon Go, and got caught.
Wow.
So it's now very unclear what penalty he's facing, as this has been getting quite some attention. Russia might be lenient on him, but he should face 10,000 Russian something. No, that's dollars perhaps in fine.
Oh, wow.
Or as much as 5 years in jail.
Wow.
And yeah, I think that this is exactly the behavior you don't want from Pokemon Go players. That if there is a ban on the game, respect the ban.
Exactly. It's not
Yes,
that
it's-
important, people.
I think the churches are allowed to set the rules for the churches. So
Right.
if you, don't break rules to play the game.
Yeah, that just takes away from that. There's no real accomplishment if you well, number one, if you're breaking, GPS rules. But again, there's no point in it. Why? Why would you do this? You grew up in Russia. Did you assume that they are soft on crime? That's not the impression I get when I see, Russian news stories. So yeah, that's very strange, or an aberrant behavior at best.
No, this happened in Yekaterinburg, which is the fourth biggest city in Russia. Never heard of it before. And so it was and it was a huge church, so it was probably impossible to reach the Pokestops from outside. It actually would have to go in, but then those stops should be removed, of course.
Right. You can file. I'm pretty sure Niantic has a place where you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that you can say we don't want to stop here. We don't want people coming into our church and worshiping. That's probably not why they're doing it, but
I have one more thing.
yeah.
We'll include a link to this because somebody did a really, really big evaluation of Pokemon Go spawn rate. So there's a Pokemon Go spawn rate chart, which has a huge sample size. So some highlights from it is that Pidgey is the most common Pokemon. 16% of all Pokemon are Pidgeys,
Wow.
while only 13% are Rattatas. So Pidgey is more common than Rattata.
Huh.
This
Interesting.
this sample size also then confirms, which everyone knew, that you can't find the legendary birds and Mew and Mewtwo. But the rarest Pokemon of all that you can actually find is Dragonite.
He actually spawns.
Yes, he spawns 0.0011% of the time.
Wow.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty small. That's a
out
pretty small
of
size.
out of 10,000 Pokemon, 0.11 will be Dragonites. Whereas Dragonair is 0.02% and Dratini is 0.3%.
Yeah, I was just able to. This is my first time I've been able to evolve a Dratini into a Dragonair. I've seen so few Dratini that I just now this past week was able to upgrade one from that spot I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
Dratini show up very rarely, but they do show up.
that's as far as I've gotten too. I don't have a Dragonite yet. I now have 130 Pokemons. Something I
Ooh, wow.
never seen before spawned yesterday, making it 130.
What was that?
I don't remember the name. It was like, what's this? It's one of the rare types that don't evolve from anything and was fairly useless.
Right. That's the thing that's upsetting. Is like, no matter what you do, some of these Pokemon that you get that you think are unique are just, they're not going to do anything ever. They're just going to sit there. Maybe,
Yeah, be unique.
right. Maybe you can get them, you can earn the breeding points and get the new eggs that they're going to hatch with an update that's coming out some point in the future. Still no timeline on that, by the way.
Maybe they will be good for trading when that shows up.
That, I hope so. I hope people will want to complete their Pokedex, and your random useless Pokemon will become very meaningful at that point.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's get to what everybody wants to know about. Dun dun dun. New tips and tactics. What we're going to talk about today, talk about your Pokemon types and what it means and how it can help you. So let me bring over this handy dandy chart.
So should you bring this chart with you?
Who? I guess if you... I'll provide a link to this chart as well in the notes.
This is the best chart I've seen of all the types.
Yeah, it's what you have here. And for anyone who can't see this, is on this chart, there's a list of all the different types. Also on this chart...
There are 18 types in Pokemon Go, right?
Yeah, water, normal, poison, flying, ground, psychic, fire, grass, rock, bug, electric, fighting, ice, fairy, ghost, steel, dragon, and dark. But interesting about dark right now, I don't believe... I'm trying to think if there's any that are dark. Any dark Pokemon right now. Might not be, because I think even Hauntar and Gengar are ghost types.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, if your Pokemon is one of these types, it's going to be weak against something and strong against something, except for normal, which nothing is weak against normal.
It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors with Pokemon types, but with 18 different options.
Right. So imagine a chart of 18 different plotted out, and there's lines connecting everywhere. It's not really something to feasibly go through on a voice-based podcast because there are so many types.
There are principles that can be learned that if your Pokemon is weak against another Pokemon, it will do 0.8% of its full attack against that. And if it's strong against a Pokemon type, it will do 125 stronger. So it will be 25% stronger, right?
Yep. It loses 20% when it's weak against it, and it gains 25% when it's strong against it.
Exactly like Swedish VAT.
That's funny.
So what you should do then is to check the type of your Pokemon, and then check the defending Pokemons in gyms and see if your type matches up. What's the best option to attack?
Right, because you can change your lineup. As soon as you hit a gym and you hit fight, it gives you your 6 Pokemon at the bottom. You can change the order, even if they're listed there. So let's say you see that the first one up is a Lapras. You don't want to start off with your Lapras. That would be silly. So you look down here, Lapras, what's it weak against? Oh, grass. So maybe you should start with your grass type Pokemon. So get those Executors as the first one up.
It's interesting to me that water is weak against water.
Yeah. The worst time I've ever had is fighting a Lapras on Lapras battle. Oh my gosh. I've run out of time on that. Oh, and I did notice, and like I hadn't paid any attention before, there is I think it's either a 90-second or a 99-second timer that starts once you start fighting a Pokemon in a gym.
Yeah, that you'll learn about that if you try to do Lapras on Lapras action.
Yeah, I did the hard way. Just booted me out.
So water, let's proceed with water as the example then. You're weak against water, dragon, and grass.
Yep.
And you're strong against ground, fire, and rock.
Mm-hmm.
So a perfect target for Lapras would be Onyx, for example.
Yep. That's a good one. Flareon.
Yeah, poor Flareon. He is so much weaker than than the other ones just because of this, as water Pokemons are so common.
Right. Everybody has a Vaporeon.
Yeah, so Vaporeon beats Flareon hard.
Oh, yeah. Because you will see, every time you hit, you're going to see super effective, and every time they hit, you'll see not very effective, or whatever the opposite of the super effective is. So be aware that is what's going to happen. Interesting to note, on here, this chart also will list all the current Pokemon and where they lie. There are a couple that lie in more than one area.
Because they have different attacks, or they actually have several types.
Yeah, they have several types. The attack itself doesn't matter.
Okay.
Even if you had a Jolteon for some reason with a squirt gun attack or water gun attack, it would not count as a water type. It counts. Okay. It's talking about the actual Pokemon itself.
Yep.
Which seems weird, but that's just the way it is. For example, if you look right here at Magnemite, he is an electric and a steel. So he has both the weaknesses of and strengths against both steel and electric.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he is weak against fire, electric, steel, and water, dragon, grass, ground, but he's strong against flying. Oh, I see. I wonder how that works when you're weak against here, but strong against there. I bet it just cancels out.
I think so.
Yeah, it's roughly equivalent.
You can't see the type of the Pokemon in the client, right? Of the type of the defenders in a gym, for example.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Let me I don't think I can catch a gym from where I'm sitting right now.
Oh, okay.
I know you can. I mean, you can look to see what kind they are, and if you happen to have this glorious chart with you,
Yeah, you pretty much have to have the chart with you.
yeah,
Print
you
it
could
and
see.
use it.
Yeah, it's big, but yeah, you'll be able to tell, and then you can stack your you can then stack your team against the defending team, and also help your fellow gym mates do the same thing, so that they are um, so you're all attacking on every front.
Yeah, that also means that if you want to defend the gym, if you have a team and you're going to place Pokemons, don't place the same type of Pokemons.
Right, because then
So
like if it, yeah, I hear you.
yeah, you have to mix it up so one strong Pokemon just can't walk through the entire gym. For
Exactly.
example, if you had a gym with 5 Flareons and then, yeah, one water Pokemon will kick its ass.
Right. You could have you just have your Lapras start at the beginning and just go pew pew pew, knock them all down one by one.
Splash you!
Yeah. Oh man, so many people around here are now doing the troll thing to where they'll take over a gym and they'll just throw a Magikarp in the gym and leave it.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess if you just want to take down the gym for the XP, whatever. But it's kind of silly. So,
Yeah, holding gyms pretty hard. You might as
oh,
well place the Magikarp.
right. We uh we when we took over that gym at the end of the um, disc golf course.
Yes.
We took it over. Um, I put in I put in my Executor, who's 1783,
Nice.
and yeah, it's pretty cool. And Colin put in his Snorlax, which is like 1900,
Yeah.
and Maddie, my niece, was with us. She put in her Tauros, which was unfortunately only um, like 380, which means that all you have to do if you see something like that is you just got to pick off that bottom one over and over again, and it just constantly decreases the gem's power. So until you get rid of that one, you basically have a free roll.
Yeah, until Taurus falls out of the gym,
Yeah, then you got to
then
face
it
the other
becomes
two.
harder.
That's true, but by the time I think it only takes us like 10 minutes to get home. By the time we were home, someone had taken it over. It did, yeah. That
Yeah,
was
that gym I talked about last week that I took with my friend and his kid, I actually held that for 5 days. So that's my new record. One gym, 5 days.
5 days. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it wasn't that remote, so I was really surprised. So next time I go to his place, I have to take it again.
There's a restaurant near my office that has
Yeah.
a level 10 um, yellow gym.
Wow, there
Yeah,
are that many yellow players.
I think just the people who work in that area who have access to that gym constantly,
Yeah.
I think they're the ones
I
that
hate to be the last guy in the gym that tries to train it from 9 to 10.
oh my gosh, it's already at it was at 52,000 when I left today. Um,
Yeah.
the smallest thing they had was an executor at 2080. So
Wow, that's a serious gym.
yeah, the first one you have to fight. The top is a Dratini at 3,000, almost 3,100. It
A
wasn't quite.
Dragonite, I assume.
Yeah, Dragonite.
Yeah.
Dratini. Holy crap. That's a hell of a Dratini. Evolve that one.
Yeah. Evolve that one.
Right.
20,000 Dragonite.
That would be insane.
Do you think you would benefit from learning all these types by heart? Or do Pokemon players that played a lot of other Pokemon games actually know them?
I would say that most if you play a full game, if you've been playing the game for a while, you'll
Yeah.
know. So,
Because these don't change between different Pokemon games.
nope. This is the thing right here.
Oh, better study it then.
Yeah, like you'll have some specific ones. For example, Gyarados in Pokemon Breakthrough, I think, is one of the latest sets.
Yeah.
When you have Gyarados out, he is only weak to electric. Let's see. But that doesn't really make sense here. See how it's water?
Yeah.
There is no electric weakness.
Okay, here he is flying in water, and
Right.
that means he has a lot of weaknesses.
Although the electric is strong against water, so I guess that's how it works out there.
Okay.
So anyway, yep, you'll see it on the card. The actual card will have their weakness and what it does. Usually they take double damage,
Yeah.
which hurts when you're playing that
I
game.
bet.
Yeah, I started playing the online client for the Pokemon card game. And for
Yeah.
anyone who's ever played Magic the Gathering online, the Pokemon client blows it out of the water like it's not even in the same league. It's
Oh, everything blows magic online.
gosh, it's ridiculous. But I recommend it. It's free. Go play it. It's fun.
Has it been around for a long time, or?
Yep, around for quite some
Okay, yeah, I
time.
didn't even know that it existed.
Yeah, and get this. Every time you buy a pack of Pokemon cards, inside
Yeah.
every pack gives you a code. You go put it into the Pokemon Online, you get a pack online.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Very nice.
and if you get serious about it, Pokemon packs are the Pokemon Online currency.
Okay.
So, just throwing that out there, little tidbit. It's a fun
If you as a listener has played Pokemon online, let us know.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think Pokemon Go can learn from Pokemon Online? Like, what new things can it do? Given that it's a totally different kind of game, but just as far as user experience goes, what do you like in Pokemon Online that you think would make it more enjoyable and bring a bigger audience in Pokemon Go? All right. Well, I think that is going to bring us to the end of our show. If you want to follow us, you can follow Dan at Dan Horning or me at Cerulean Says Hi. Also, please check us out, facebook.com/the PokePod podcast. If you want to see this visually, it is on Hard Nerd Cafe on YouTube. Just search up Hard Nerd Cafe. Just like Hard Rock Cafe, but with nerds.
Yay!
All right. Well, for this week, I am Brennan,
And I'm Dan.
and this has been the PokePod.